Hello, and welcome to a little review for Target 5AB for our upcoming quiz. For questions 1 and 2, we're going to use this histogram that represents the number of number of toys kids played with at Dolly's daycare. Number 1 asks us how many kids are in the histogram. Well, let's check it out. What we're going to do is we're going to see the height of each of these bars. Right, this first bar goes up to 2, 1, 4, 6, and 5. I add all those numbers up. That's 18 kids. How many kids played with more than 4 toys? So I'm going to find 4. More than means to the right. So I'm just going to add 4, 6, and 5 to get 15 kids. Okay. For question 3 and 4, let's look at this histogram. And this one's a little funky because it's not labeled as beautifully. So when you do this on your own, you might have a little bit different answer than me, but as long as it looks reasonable, we're good to go. Number 3 asks us, how many baskets of apples are represented in the histogram? Okay, so I'm going to start off with this one. This one's pretty low, and I see that it's going by 20, so I'm going to assume this is about 10. So this is probably 5. This one looks like it's going up to here. I called that 55. This one, that's 80. This one I wrote as 50, and this one's just a little bit lower. I called that one 45. This one I voted to be 25, and this tiniest one I voted to be 1. So what I did next is I added up all these numbers, and I got 261 baskets. Number 4, how many baskets cost more than 75? I find 75 more than would be to the right. 25 plus 1 is 26. Again, your numbers might look a little bit differently. As long as your guesstimate on these bars looks like it would make sense, then you should be good to go. So if you have a question, let me know or let your teacher know, and then we could check it out and see if it makes sense, if it's reasonable. All right, let's continue. Number 5. So 5 and 6. There are 11 students in Mr. Schrader's first hour class that have tardies. Mr. Schrader is looking over his gradebook to discuss tardies with the students. First, let's construct a dot plot. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through this and make some dots. Now I'm going to find my smallest number. It looks like it's 1. And then I'm just going to continue my number line. Okay, so it looks like my number line ends, what did I miss? I skipped 6. My number line should end at 10. 6, I'm sorry, 6. There we go. 9 and 10. Beautiful. Okay, let's make some dots. Emma is 4, Lucy 3, James, Aria, Mary, George, Wilma, Greg, Josh, Aaron, and Megan. So there's our little dot plot. Number 6 asks us to find the 5-number summary of the data set. So I prefer it to be a little bit more visual than just looking at the dots. So I'm going to actually create a list of the numbers we have, and I'm going to use my dot plot to help me. There is 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3. There are 3 dots on 4, so I'm going to write 3 4s. And then 1 of each for 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay. First, let's write down the minimum and maximum. That's the easiest. The minimum is our smallest, is 1. The maximum, our largest, is 9. Now let's find the median. All right. So I'm going to cross one number off from each side and see if I land with something in the middle. If not, we can always divide. Oh, beautiful. I have an actual number in the middle. It's 4. Now for Q1 and Q3, which is quadrant 1 and quadrant 3. Why did I say quadrant? I don't think it's quadrant, but that's okay. It's Q1 and Q3. Anyways, quartile. That's what it is. Not quadrant, it's quartile. Sorry, friends. Quartile 1 and quartile 3 are the medians of the right and left side. Quartile 1, Q1, is the middle of the left. So let's find the middle of the left side. So I'm going to cross one number off, and it looks like I'm left with 3 in the middle. Now quartile 3 is going to be the middle of the right side. Cross one off from each side. Beautiful. 7's the median. And we have our 5-number summary. All right. Questions 7 and 8. Students were asked to keep a log of how many hours they studied for their AP exam in the month of April. Let's make a dot plot. I'm going to start with the smallest number, which is 8. And our largest number is 20, so it looks like I'm going to have to expand my number line just a little bit. So I'm going to need 18, 19, and 20. Beautiful. All right, let's start dotting. We've got Angie, Nina, Alexa, Sarah, Sean, Eric, Jordan, Tyler, Ashley, Antonio, and Princess. Okay, wonderful. I have my dot plot. Number 8 says to determine the 5-number summary. I'm going to write my dot plot as a list. It's organized, smallest to largest. Let's do it. All right, I got 1 8, 2 9s, 2 10s, a 12, 13, 16, 2 17s, and a 20. All right, let's write down the minimum. That's our smallest number, 8. Our maximum is 20. Now let's find the median of the whole data. So I'm just going to cross one number off on each side. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, looks like we've got 12 as our median. Next, we need to find Q1, quartile 1, which is the median of the left, and quartile 3, Q3, which is the middle of the right. So let's do it. Cross one number off on each side. The median of the left is 9, so quartile 1 is 9. Let's do the same thing on the right. And 17 is quartile 3, the median of our right side. Onwards we go. Number 9 asks us which data set is skewed to the left. Select all that apply. So skewed to the left is when the median of our data is on the right side of our mean. I guess a better way to say that, I was thinking about that as the words were coming out of my mouth, but I'm like 8 minutes into this video. I'm not starting over. I guess a better way to think about it is that the mean is on the left of the median. I guess that's really the same thing. All right, so the way we can tell is if our data looks like it's leaning to the right. The median is going to be on the right. So letter C is going to be our skewed left. Letter A and B are both skewed right because they look like they're leaning to the left. That tells me that the median is on the left and the mean is on the right. Letter D looks more symmetrical to me than anything. I think this would be the closest example out of A, B, C, and D to a symmetrical data set. But remember, wherever that hump, the lean of our data happens, it's skewed to the opposite side. All right, onwards we go to number 10. Piper Joe Chocolates wants to compare the sales of their dark chocolate and milk chocolate truffle sales. Delicious. The table shows the number of each type of truffles sold per day for 13 days. Calculate the IQR, the interquartile range, for each type of truffle. Now, I just want to remind you that IQR is quartile 3 minus quartile 1. So middle of right minus middle of left. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to reorganize both chocolate, dark chocolate, and milk chocolate in smallest to largest so that I could find quartile 1 and quartile 3 and do some subtracting. So if you want to do this on your own first, go ahead and pause. You know the drill. I'm going to go ahead and write them down. So this is the list I got for dark chocolate. 5, 6, 8, 8. Let's cross them off. 5, 6, 8, 8. then 9, 11, 11, 9, 11, 11. I'm just double checking to make sure I did this right. 12, 13, cross it off, cross it off. And then I'm just going to continue down here. 15, 18, 15, 18, 19, and 20. Okay, good. All right, now let's find the Q1 and Q3. Now the first thing that I'm going to do is find just the plain old median because that will help me immensely. Okay, so I'm going to do that by crossing one off on each side. Boom, 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 boom. It looks like this second 11 is our median. Beautiful. Now let's find the median of the right and the left. Now because I'm trying to find Q3 first, so I can subtract, let's find it first. All right, I'm just going to cross one off on each. Whoa, that was way thicker than I intended it to be. Let's try, there we go. All right, so cross one off, cross one off, cross one off, cross one off. Ooh, we are stuck with both 15 and 18 in the middle. When we have two numbers that are in the middle, we find our median by adding them and dividing by 2. Now what I got here is 16.5. All right, wonderful. We found Q3. Now let's find Q1. So we're going to find the, I don't know if you could hear that bell that just rang. Anyways, we're going to find the middle of the left side. Let's do it. Cross one off, cross one off, cross one off, cross one off. I end up with 2 8s. Now, we pretty much do the same thing. We still add the two numbers and divide by 2. However, if you get 2 of the same number in the middle, it's that number. So we're going to do 16.5 minus 8, and that gives me 8.5 as my answer. Let's do the same thing for milk chocolate. I'm going to go ahead and reorganize the numbers. So I got a 3, 4, 6, 7. 3, 4, 6, 7. 9, 10, 12. 9, 10, 12. 13, 13. Okay. 15, 15. 16, and 17. Wonderful. All right, let's do the same thing. First, let's find the median, because that will really simplify things for us. And then we'll find Q1 and Q3. And then subtract them. All right, let's begin by finding the actual median. I'm going to cross one off from each side. It's 12. Wonderful. Now let's find Q3. Let's begin with Q3 since that's the first number we're going to have to use. I'm going to cross one off from each side. Ooh, I'm left with 2 15s in the middle. So again, mathematically speaking, we would do 15 plus 15 divided by 2. But if it's the same number twice, it's going to be that number. Okay, now let us do Q1. I'm going to cross one off from each side. Once again, we're left with 2 numbers in the middle. So I'm going to do 6 plus 7 divided by 2, which leaves me with 6.5. All right, let's subtract and find our IQR. 15 minus 6.5 is 8.5. They're both 8.5s. Not bad. Number 11. Ellie is selling Girl Scout cookies. The table shows the number of each type of chocolate cookie sold per day for 11 days. Let's find the IQR for each type. Thin mints. Oh my goodness. If y'all have ever tried thin mints, put them in the freezer and then eat them. It's amazing. But I know that's not everyone's favorite because some people say it tastes like toothpaste, but I love it. All right, tangent. Let's get back to writing our list. All right, 6, 7, 9, 9. 6, 7, 9, 9. 10, 14, 15, 15. 10, 14, 15, 15, 16, 18, 20. Oh, that mostly fit. Not bad. And let's do it. Let's find the median first. All right, I'm going to cross one number off from each side. Beautiful. 14's in the middle. Now let's find Q3 and Q1 because we're going to have to subtract them. Let's do it. Q3 first. Ta-dum, ta-dum, ta-dum. 16. How nice. I have an actual number in the middle. All right. Now let's do Q1. Cross one off from each side. Wonderful. We have a number. It's 9. 16 minus 9 is a nice 7. Now, let's look at the IQR for the Samoas, which are also delicious. Oh my goodness. Oh no, I'm just thinking about cookies. I don't need cookies. I want cookies. Alright, 4, 7, 10, 10. 11, 12, 16. 11, 12, 16. 17, 18, 19, and 20. 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, let's do this. Let's find the median, then Q3, Q1, and then we'll subtract. Okay. All right, let's find the median. Cross one off from each side. And it's 12. Now let's find Q3 by finding the median of our right side. 18. And now let's do the left side. 10. All right, 18 minus 10 is 8. So the Thin Mints had a smaller interquartile range than the Samoas. But you know, I would joyfully eat them both. Delicious. Okay, number 12. Number 12 asks us to calculate the mean and the median of the data, and then just to think about which one do you think represents the data best. Okay. So first, let's find the median that is the easiest to find. All right, let's do it. Just gonna cross every number off from each side until I get to the middle. Oh no! I have 9 and 11 in the middle. We gotta do 9 plus 11 and divide that by 2. So that's not 22, 20 over 2. So our median is 10. Okay? Next, what we're going to do is we're going to find the mean. The way we find the mean is by adding every single number in the data set. And then divide it by the number of numbers. So let's do it. Oh my goodness, so many numbers. All right, so that was all those numbers. First, of course, let me count how many there were. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 18. There's 18 numbers. Okay, when I add all the top together, I get 170. Then I'm going to do 170 divided by 18, and I get 9.4 repeating. Now, which one represents it better? You know what? I would say that they're both pretty good representations. When the mean and the median are so close together, this forms kind of a symmetrical type of data set. It won't be perfect. I'm assuming it would look a little bit more like letter D, right? It's not the most perfect distribution, but they're very, very close to each other. So I would say this is a pretty symmetric set, so either of them would be a good representation. All right. Now let us calculate the mean and the median of this data set and then decide which one's better. All right, let's start with median because it's the easiest. And we're just going to cross one off from each side. And, oh, we actually do end up with I did something wrong here. Let's try that again. One from each side, one from each side. 3, da, 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 yeah, there we go. It's 12. Fantastic. We didn't have to do any dividing there. Now for our mean. Here we go. We're going to have to add all these numbers together and then divide. Okay, now I wrote them all up there. Now I need to count how many numbers there actually are so we could divide. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19. Okay, so adding up all those numbers together, I got 318. And I'm going to divide that by 19, and I got 16.7368. Now when I look at my data, it looks like my median is smaller than my mean, right? So it's not going to be that nice of a data set. It's not going to be symmetrical. Give yourself a second and think, which one better represents our data, the median or the mean? To me, it seems like the median represents it a little bit better because we don't have that many 16s, and 16 is on the, I guess, on the right-hand side of our data. 12 seems to represent more of our data than 16.7 would. So this actually would be a skewed left graph because we would have our, whoops, I said that wrong, skewed right. We would have our mean larger than our median. Yes, it would be skewed right. All right. Did I do? I don't even know. I just messed myself up. Hold on. Which way is it skewed, Miss Gumin? It's the end of the video. We can't redo all of this. If the median is smaller than my mean, well, I was right. It's skewed right. I actually don't know if I said that, but it should be skewed right. This kind of looks like the drawing I just did. Yeah, let's go with that. Okay. Anyways, thanks for sticking around for 23 minutes. I hope this was a decent review. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask myself or your teachers about it. Have a wonderful rest of whatever day it is for you. Bye!